normally police back in England, they don't carry guns. You have to have, they do have some kind of special unit who carry guns, and not just everyone. And I think back in England, and this is another part, I don't know, and I could be wrong, don't quote me on this one, but I think life don't mean life in prison, if that makes sense. And so now we're coming back to the States, where a man, I believe he had mental health issues. Due to that factor, this man walked towards one of the police officer. Then police officer went for the killer shot, and he wasn't even like killed with one bullet or one whatever. He went about 4, 5, or 8 or something, between 5 and 8, I believe so. So picture someone with a knife walking towards you, and I have a gun. Since I'm a trained officer, I'll shoot you on the leg. But if we look at the other side, the other part of the world, I mean, like Africa or some part of Africa, or even some Asian country as well, you see the police officer, when you look at them, some of them, they would have the physicality or the skills to disarm someone with a knife. They know how to do it because they are trained officers. But here, everything just shortcut. No time trying to prevent the situation. But you know where you go? You go for the killer shot. Welcome to Rugi Podcast. Don't forget to follow me on the social media or the platform, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. First, I want to thank you for get this chance or the opportunity to have this, to bring this content or to share the little thoughts about the topic what I'm going to be talking today. Today, I'm going to be talking about police, the different police from the States and the police from Europe, and to be more precise, England or the UK. So there's a couple incidents where I'm gonna trying to show how the different approach these two places they do use. And I'm not saying one place is better than the other, or one place they value life more. It's not up to me to judge that, but it's just something I feel like we should be talking. I know a lot of people talk about it, but I feel this part of myself I should share with all the audience. There's a specific incident I want to refer to. I believe it happens 2013 back in England, where there were 2 young men. These young men, they were, I think they converted to Islam at the time, and they went crazy in terms of they were against the government. The government at the time, I believe, they went to war, or they were at war with in Afghanistan, I believe, or Iraq, and whatever they believe at that particular time, these 2 young men, they thought they should react or trying to go against whatever the authority at the time. So the situation was, this is sad. Whenever I think about it, I get goosebumps just because it's just sad. Anyway, so they literally they had a car. The other one had a knife. The other one had a gun, and they found the nearest barracks where the army station or where they stay or the train, and so they were pacing up and down just trying to find the victim, any person who was a soldier. Anyway, so they end up finding this young man, and again, sorry for the family for the loss. I know it's been a while, but hey, his name should not be forgotten, or I think his name is Mr. Rigby. I believe Rigby, yeah. Lee Rigby, I believe that's his name. And sorry to remind you for this one, but my point, what I'm trying to make is, these young men decide to pace up and down. They found this young man. He was walking down the street, wherever he was going or wherever he came from. I think he had one of these T-shirts where I know people know you can have like these T-shirts that says our hero, I believe, and then you can see the two soldiers carry another soldier, the wounded soldier, on the one of these stuff. I can't remember. I don't know what's the name. But anyway, so there's like a picture. So I think they recognize just by looking by whatever the T-shirt he had at the time. Anyway, so they saw him. They passed him over. They realized he was a soldier. They rushed quick. They went and did U-turn. They came back with full speed, and they literally. So picture someone is walking on the pavement, on the sidewalk, and then they hit with a car. This man or young man fall on the ground. Then they slaughter him on the daylight, literally with a knife, slaughter him. And then while they were doing that, they're shouting and screaming and whatever the name they used to call, they call, you know, and so everybody, whoever people were passing on, you know, shocked and devastating, confused. They don't know what's going on. People screaming, and at the time, I believe it was in the afternoon. So most of the kids coming from school, and then the parents. So you picture yourself, you as a parent, you walk with the kid down, you just walk home, pick up your kid, and then you see this incident. First thing what you do, you have to protect your kid. You don't want him or her to be exposed to the situation what happened at that particular time, And so people were running and screaming, some people recording, some people whatever, called the police. So now police showed up, and this is what the different again. Police showed up on the incident, on the situation, and normally police back in England, they don't carry guns. You have to have, they do have some kind of special unit who carry guns, and not just everyone. So these police, they look, obviously they saw the incident what happened, and then they saw two young men, one with a knife, one with a gun. Then you can't even get closer to that to try to disarm them. So they had to call another unit. They showed up, another unit, police officers. I believe one was a female and one was a man. But they showed up, obviously, asking these young men to drop a gun and to drop a knife. Obviously, they didn't listen. So now they're different to show that if this was in the States, straight away you go for the killer shoot. It doesn't matter. As soon as you charge toward the police, you'll be killed. There's no sugarcoat about it. So these two young men charged toward the police, but police, what they did, one of the guy, he was shot on the shoulder, so he fall. Another one on the leg. But my point, what I'm saying, no one was killed. They want to make sure that the law, these people should be punished to the highest punishment they can have. And that point, we can agree and disagree that they deserve to have a life and be punished, or to be killed just the way they did to this young man. But that's not the topic for now. But my point, what I'm trying to make is, the police went for the disarm these two young men, and they were able to do that. Once they fall, they jump on them, whatever they had to do, arrest them, and then move, take to the, I think, as far as I know, then the ambulance came over, took them to the hospital. I don't know, I can't remember how long they stayed in the hospital. Then they were okay, then they were charged, and then I believe they're still in jail or in prison. I don't know for how many years, life or whatever, I can't remember. And I think back in England, and this is another part, I think life, I don't know, and I could be wrong, don't quote me on this one, but I think life don't mean life in prison, if that makes sense. Life is different. I think when they say life in prison, that means for the rest of your life, type of stuff. But hey, I'm not a judge, I'm not a lawyer. I could be wrong, don't quote me on that. And so now we're coming back to the States, where I'm gonna share the incident where a man, I believe he had mental health issues, and due to that factor, he had when they show the video, it shows the man had a knife, and then he was pacing up and down, and then there were like 4 or 5 police officers keep telling him to drop the knife. He didn't have a gun, I beg your pardon. He had a knife, pacing up and down. And then the people who knew this man, they were screaming to tell police, do not shoot him, do not kill him. He had the mental health issues, and some people were calling by his name, please drop a knife, please drop a knife, they're gonna kill you, please drop a knife. But obviously, if you understand, sometimes I feel like the authority should really, I think they should be trained even more in terms of recognizing people who has mental health issues.
Stevie, come on, man.
Drop the knife!
You need help, man.
He needs help!
All I feel like they always jump into conclusion to punish someone without assessing the situation just because someone has a knife. But I'll circle back on that part. But anyway, so this man walked towards one of the police officer. Then police officer went for the killer shot, and he wasn't even like killed with one bullet or one whatever. He went about 4, 5, or 8 or something, between 5 and 8, I believe so.
They killed him! Oh, shit!
So this is the difference between these two places. Me as a citizen, I would expect the authority. First, I believe all police officers, they do train to shoot the target. Number 1, they train, they practice so often. Number 2, and then they're well built in terms of the physicality of it. That's what I would expect, or I do expect, that they are fit to the point where they might have a little martial arts here and there, or they know how to disarm someone just by using their physicality, whatever they might have, or the skills they might have. That's what I would expect. So picture someone with a knife walking towards you, and I have a gun. Since I'm a trained officer or police officer, and this is my 27 whatever how many a year, this is what I do. I will shoot you on the leg. I will literally shoot you on the leg, and then you fall, I'll come over but no, they're going for the killer shot. And then the victim, he was such a heavy man, so even if he's not like he's running towards you, you think, oh, it's a time for me to, my life is under threat, whatever, I should kill it. No, this man is so heavy, he's walking. I think when you see him, it's almost like a limping, but he's walking, he's coming towards you. You have all the time to determine what you should do that particular time. But no, they went for the killer shot. So they killed this man who had a knife. They killed this man who had mental health issues. The authority think this should be okay, or that's a justification to kill someone, if that makes sense. But if we look at the other side, the other part of the world, like Africa, or some part of Africa, or even some Asian countries as well, you see the police officer, when you look at them, some of them, they would have the physicality or the skills to disarm someone with a knife. They know how to do it because they are trained officers. But here, everything just shortcut. No time trying to prevent the situation, but you know where you go for the killer shot. And I think that's really, yes, they're police officer, but I don't think that's weak. someone with a knife and with a heavy bill walking almost like they're crawling, in my opinion. And then you're going for the killer shot. You literally, and then not even one bullet. You're going for more than 4 bullets, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's sad when we as a people, or the civilians, when we see this type of situation, you don't know how to react, because it's so confusing that they could serve that man. It could go to them, I don't know, the treatment, or to try to avoid maybe next time he shouldn't be. Oh, I don't know how. What do they do when you have mental health issues? Do they take you to the hospital and then you stay there, or they have to go to some kind of nursing, or I don't know. But my point is, he should not be killed. They had all the chance, all the opportunity to save this man's life, but they decided to go for the killer shot. So that's something I thought I should share, and to see the 2 different places called Western, whatever they might be, and their approach is completely different. The man, these 2 young men who killed this young man on the daylight, very, very brutal, there's no word I can describe or explain. They were disarmed, and then the law took its course. But someone with a knife, heavy built, mental health issues, whatever the issue you might have, no, you go for the killer shot, and they kill it. Not even one, more than that, more than 4 bullets. So that's something. We as a citizen, we have a power to challenge our authority, not to challenge on the street, to challenge it, to trying to push in terms of the policies and our MPs, our representative, to our whatever we might be. I think we should be able to challenge and trying to find a way how to reduce the amount of people who are being killed just because the police have the power to kill or to shoot. I think as much as we appreciated the police job, what they do to protect us, but they have so much things they can change and make it better as well, because sometimes you get so much the citizen be against the police officer, because when we see this type of situation, of course we get mad, of course we're gonna react, of course we're gonna march on the street. But to prevent all this stuff, the authority themselves, they should look at themselves in the mirror and think, okay, what can we do to prevent this type of situation? And then I think we all can be a better place. I mean, it's not gonna be a perfect world, but at least we can work towards whatever we can get. Anyway, peace out. This is Luke Podcast. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Peace.